My name is Era, and I'm the host of the Tamil Creator Podcast. I chat with creators from all over the world to share their stories and discuss hot topics in a way that I hope inspires, educates, and entertains you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Tamil Creator. This is your host, Era, and today I have probably one of my youngest guests, if not my youngest guest ever. His name is Vinuson Suntharesan. I hope I didn't butcher it again. And he's popularly known as Vinnin. He's a Malyali / Tamil Canadian recording artist from Scarborough. And, he, after finding success playing basketball competitive in high school, he's gone on to switch his focus to making music. And, in 2021, he had a big year. He released his now popular and motivating single and video, Top of the Game. And this song, which is inspired by his love of basketball and hip hop music, caught the attention of NBA 2K and was featured in NBA 2K21 Next Gen soundtrack and included in a single in the video game NBA 2K21. So, Vinnin, welcome to the show. Thanks for hopping on.
Thank you for having me on the show today.
For me, it's funny that we were talking before this and you're telling me you're doing homework, which is crazy because you're so talented for a guy your age. I think when I was your age, I wasn't thinking beyond that day or maybe the future, in terms of a traditional path. So really cool what you're doing. I love to see that. Why don't we go back to the beginning in terms of, how did you get on this path of, becoming a rapper and a music artist? How were you raised and how did that influence, where you are today?
Mostly my parents, they my family's I'm a music family. It's been revolving around me ever since elementary school. So where I'm from, in Scarborough, the schools that I went to, they always offered extracurricular activities. So I would always be in the choir. I would always sign up to be part of any music thing. And aside from school, my parents, they always put me in Carnatic music in a young age. So I was learning Carnatic music on the side of school. So I was just interested in the different music genres. I really liked singing. And then that's when I got introduced to rap when I was young. I always saw it play on the TV. I saw Drake, the Weeknd, Nav. I would see them play on this TV channel on my Rogers TV back in the day. And I would always just see that Started from the Bottom by Drake was always playing on the TV. So I fell in love with rap, growing up listening to that. I just fell in love with the flow and how everything was so trap style or cool. I just wanted to be a cool kid. So I started to give more focus to rap and music, singing. So R&B and rap is first what I started to do, get more familiar with. I wanted to learn and make my own music when I was young. So that's how I really started with music. And in schools, they would always have talent shows. So I would always practice songs from other artists and I would recreate that at a talent show because I couldn't write my own music back then. So
Sure.
whenever I did that, so for example, there was a song called NF, NF, he's one of the artists back then. He's Eminem, trap style. I just like him because he's fire, he raps fast. So I thought it was cool if I could recreate the fast rapping in front of an audience. So they'd be damn, that's so cool. So I just wanted to have that wow factor in people. So I recreated that in talent shows. And ever since the people's engagement and the people were so hyped when I got on the stage, I just like that feeling.
How old are you?
At the moment, I'm 17.
Crazy. So you're doing these talent shows. How did you number one, I guess, do you not get nervous before you go up? And number two, how did you know that what you were putting out there was good? What kind of feedback did you get?
Okay, so first, I was actually nervous the first time I got on the stage. And actually, the first time I got on the stage is actually the first time I got booed on the stage. And ever since that, I just had this feeling like, okay, I have to prove these guys wrong. Like I have to show them like a new me. So I had to like do something. I prepared everything. I was literally focusing on just recreating this song. So there's this one song called Stereo Hearts by Maroon 5 and Gym Class Heroes. It's like one of my favorite songs, like old songs. So I recreated that song on the talent show. Like everything was in around grade 7. And when I sang it on the stage and rapped it, everyone was just like astonished. They gave me like this flush emoji look. Like everyone was just like looking at me like damn, I didn't know that guy could do that. And as I did that, I felt like more people got open to me. Like I made more friends. I got to, fit in with more people that way, I feel. Cause like I used to be more or the energized hype kid that people really don't really talk to. Cause I was just so hype all the time. I'm hyperactive. But yeah, that's when like I realized like, okay, people are saying this is good. So what if I start to do more of this and see how it goes?
Got it. How'd you come up with the name Vinnin?
Oh, the name Vinnin. Okay. Ever since I was young, I played ball from a young age. So I played basketball. Shout out to my like he's like a blood brother to me. Shout out Bovey. He's actually like one of my mentors, like with basketball. So I would always train with him and everything. So when I first opened Instagram is when I actually was playing basketball. I wanted to post like basketball or motivating content. That was actually my niche back in the day, like in grade 9. So I just wanted this name, like what's motivating, but also cool at the same time. So the first 3 letters of my name is like VIN. So like Vin. It sounds like win if you think about it. So I came with this motto like Vin for life. It's like win for life, basically. So it was like something motivating. And like back in the day, like I was doing motivation, like I said. So it kind of helped with that niche, I guess. Like that motto is actually really good. So I used that motto. And when I actually was starting to make music, I was thinking of similar names that were with that motto. And I came across, like, I was just thinking out of the blue, I was just like, winning. And then I was like, winning. Okay. And then I didn't really like it because it had a hard G at the end. Like, I didn't really like the G at the end. So I actually had to take it off. And I was like, winning. Okay, winning. So I changed it to Vinnin right after that. It was like a huge, like, creative process that I was going through. And I was just like, damn, I actually like this name now. So I'm like, I never regret changing my name ever again. Like, I feel like this is my lifelong name. I'm gonna hold the whole down legacy, with that name.
It's funny that you said back in the day, grade 9. You haven't finished high school yet. You know what? You know when I finished high school?
Well, I actually don't know.
I finished high school in 2003.
Oh, guys, way before I was born.
What
I
do you
was
mean? Oh
born.
my gosh, you weren't even born then. My God, that's crazy. Damn, I just realized that. Yeah, you weren't technically born.
Yeah.
Damn, that is crazy. I'm old. Okay, anyways. Um, I saw, I think we talked about it before, but you used to play basketball competitively in high school. So give me the scoop in terms of like, how good would you say you were?
I wouldn't say I'm like LeBron level. Like I wouldn't say I'm like bad as well. I wouldn't like be on a bench, but I feel like I was just decent. I felt like I was above decent. I would say like out of 100, probably give myself like a 75,
I
somewhere
like
there.
that.
But if,
I like that honest analysis.
yeah,
Yeah.
because a lot of people like that were playing basketball with me were really tall and were really like big body. And like me, I'm like a very lanky guy, a lean guy. So I really couldn't even get into the paint like that. So it was more shots.
That's okay. So, I'm speaking about basketball. I'm speaking about like, hip hop. Like,
Mhm.
the best of both worlds collided in 2021 when, I think this is how I kind of heard of you as well, right? I was kind of familiar with you, but this is what really kind of perked my interest was, I played NBA 2K back in the day, probably probably 20 years ago, maybe when it's the first edition. But
Yeah.
you got your single top of the game featured in NBA 2K21 Next Gen soundtrack and the actual game itself. Um, tell us about how that happened. And, we'll talk about that first, but then I want to know, like, when you actually found out that you got in, your reaction. But let's start off with like, how did you actually get your song into that game?
Okay, so when I started making music, it was actually in grade 10. Grade 10 is when I started. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make my own music and put it out on Spotify like that. I was thinking like that. So I always was doing my research from like a young age, like grade 10. I was just like, well, how do I release my music? How do I get my stuff in front of people? So I was always that type of person that would just search stuff on Google and kind of do like a copy paste, like in my own way. So I came across this distributor platform. It's called United Masters. So back in grade 10 is when they officially opened. It was in like beta. So when it was in beta, they actually signed one of their first artists called Eneli Choppa. He's like one of these famous rappers from the US. He was kind of blowing up after he dropped his song Shot of Flow. So I was just like, okay, this is actually might sound like a nice opportunity. Maybe I can get myself around like some good people in the industry, maybe have my foot on, try to get myself elevating a bit. So I signed up on this distributing platform, and they really I was actually one of the first people to actually join that platform. And especially being young, I think they really liked that I was from Toronto. I think I was one of the first people to join from Toronto, to be honest, especially being young. So I had open to all these like emails that I could reach out to. Like there were like loads of, like, I'm talking Excel sheets of like emails that I could reach to, pitch to. And they were like mostly like people that were kind of underground, or like people that I could get reach of. Basically, they would check their emails, but they had some sort of connection to the mainstream somehow. So I was looking, and I came across this opportunity of having your song in a soundtrack in NBA 2K21. So I was like, okay, this sounds like a sick opportunity. What can I do with it? Now that I could pitch to it, I got to make something to get selected. Back then, I really didn't know how to write music, or really didn't know like what style I wanted to go to. I was kind of finding my sound. So I was just like, okay, I got to make something really, really, really basketball-y. Like, like you listen to that and you'll be like, okay, that has to be a soundtrack song. So I was thinking to myself, okay, let's start with the beat first. So I always look through my beats. Like I had a shout out to like one of my producers. His name is J. Sony. I met him actually through Instagram. He sent me a bunch of beats, and I was actually going through them until I heard this one beat, and I just played the beat by itself. And I already knew like that's part of a soundtrack. Just by, if you were just to listen to the beat, you'd be like, okay, that's a soundtrack song. So I was like, okay, I found the beat. Now I have to write something to it. So I wanted to write something. I really didn't know how to write music. I'm gonna be honest. When I first started, I would cap rap. Like I would say stuff that I really wouldn't do. In the song Top of the Game, I usually rap about like money. Like I would say 50 bands on me like every hour or every minute. It was actually like the wordplay. It kind of flowed well with it, like it flowed well with the words, but I really didn't mean it. And like I said, I was young, so I really didn't know what I was saying, but I wanted to sound cool, and I wanted to make something basketball-y. So I did that, and I stepped out of my comfort zone, and I put together like this wonderful track, like trapster basketball-y like vibe to it. So I recorded at the studio on the last day of submission. I recorded on the studio. I remember I was telling my engineer, I was like, yo, today's the last day. Right after you engineer this, I'm gonna hand it in. So make it to your fullest potential, please. And he's like, okay, I got you. So I was like, okay. I brought it home. I sent it in at 7:39 p.m. around that time, because that's when I came home. I sent it in, and the next day, I guess sent this whole contract. They're like, okay, you got to sign this. And I was just like, what? Like, I was like, this can't be real. This has to be fake. I went through the emails, and then I was just like, oh, this is actually the United Masters email address. And I got sent this whole email address that I had to fill out. And basically, it was just this this contract. It was just saying my name and how my song would get promoted and all that. Can you give me a second? I'm gonna be back in a minute, real quickly.
Yeah. This episode is sponsored by nobody. That's right, nobody. So if you could be kind enough to hit that subscribe button, that would mean a lot to me.
I'm sorry about that. That was kind of just. So where do we start again? I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. So you talked about, you handed in, your
contract.
contract, and you got this contract. So did you read through their contract and like?
So yeah. Wait, so I can talk right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically I got this contract that was sent to my email, and I was just like, no way, like, there's no way this actually can be real. So I actually like went through the person that sent me the email, and I was like, okay, this is actually like official. And then I read through this contract that they sent me. It was actually a PDF that they sent me, and it said my name on it, and I was just like, okay. And then it said that my song was selected for the NBA 2K21 soundtrack. So I was just like, wait, what? That like, it was just like this wow factor to me. Like I couldn't believe my eyes. And then I had to scroll down, and they told me to sign everything. There were like a lot of paperwork that I had to sign because they're due to publishing and all that. So I had to sign a lot of stuff that was in this contract. And that's when I realized that the contract was legit. Basically, they hit me back up the next day after I signed it, and they're like, okay, we'll stay in touch. We'll let you know when your song is actually live in the game.
Did he get paid for that, or like how does that work?
So basically, every time my song gets played in the game, there's 500 other songs on rotation in the game. So sorry, I need another minute. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Did you know that every time you left a 5 out of 5 review for this podcast, a Tamil parent lets their child pursue a career in the creative arts? Okay, that's probably not true, but if there's a chance that it is, do you really want to jinx it? Leave a review. Do it for the young creative in you.
My bad. I'm sorry.
No worries. Next time
it's just my siblings came into my room, and then my parents really didn't. They were like, okay, oh my God, wow, why are they coming in the room?
The next time they come, let me talk to them. But yeah, okay. So
okay.
So to kind of refresh your memory, you said there's 500 songs that are kind of in rotation in the game. Okay. Your song is one of them. So it's like 0.002% or whatever it is of the song. So how you get paid is, you were saying you get a percentage. Like how do you get paid? So every time your song gets played, you get paid. And like, I guess there's like a fixed rate.
It depends. It's like this, their own rate. It's like different than Spotify.
Okay.
It's like their own stream rate. I think it's like different for sync royalties. So basically sync is like TV, radio, like, those plays.
Yes.
You get paid for each of those plays.
And did you have like your parents or somebody kind of look over the contract as well? Or like, how did you sign off on that?
I actually like sent it to one of my cousins, because she's like, all my cousins are like in university, or some of them are also graduated.
Yeah.
So I sent it to them to see that everything was legit, and that I was actually not getting scammed, or like, trying to get into my bad hands, like what if I sign something and then they'd be like, you owe us something,
Got it.
I was kind of scared.
But you feel like it was a fair deal, because like now every time the game is played, I guess once you cross the minimum amount of money that's made, do they just send you like a check, or do they just deposit in your account? Like, how does that work?
It just adds up to my royalties, like how I would get paid from my streaming royalties, like from Spotify, Apple. It'll just go into there, like sync royalties.
No, but I guess, so how does that work? So you said it syncs royalty, but then do you get paid a check, or do you like get deposited the money, or how does that work?
Oh, it gets right to my bank. It's like a bank wire.
That's pretty cool. So you're 17, you created this song, you get featured in like a well-known game, you're getting paid. Like how do you feel after all this? Like, you said you were hyped, but how did your family feel about it? Like, how did your parents, the traditional Brown thing is, they want you to obviously focus on school, get good marks in high school, get to, university. How did they feel about you, getting into the game? Because that probably means you spent a lot of time doing this thing versus maybe working on your homework like they wanted you to do. I'm just making assumptions, but you tell me, how did they feel?
Yeah. I mean, my dad's really supportive of my music. He actually he likes more meaning to the music, He likes my music. He supports it. He'll be honest with me though. That's what I like about my dad. My mom really doesn't even like. She's not into the hip hop. You
Got
know, she if she listens to that, she's turning it off because like she can't like listen to it. She says she gets headaches when she listens to it. But, you know,
it.
everyone has their own taste. You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, when I first actually told my dad, he was actually like for real, like he's like that, but he actually doesn't know what NBA is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
most parents, most brown parents don't know what NBA 2K21 is like. But that's when I actually like my cousins actually were the ones who like, you know, they're like, this is actually big. Like you should be proud of yourself for that, you know? So like I had to explain to them what it was and like how that not anyone could have this opportunity. It's like more of a golden opportunity for a Tamil artist myself and also, you know, a young artist myself, especially from Toronto. I don't think many artists get put on like that.
That's pretty cool. And then, obviously there's a lot of good that came out of this, but you also mentioned there's a little bit of backlash after you got your single featured like from school and things like that. So like tell us about that and like why do you think you got this hate?
Okay, so when I got my song in the game, I got a lot of messages from YouTubers who were playing the game. I got people who were sending me videos of hearing my song in the game. It was not many people, but like it was like hundreds. I would say hundreds. I was getting streams on my music from different countries. Like I'm talking Jamaica, like countries I didn't even know anyone from. And I just thought that was so cool. Like, damn, people are actually buying my music. Like people are actually listening to my music. I really like that feeling. And I just suddenly my streams was going up like this. Like you could just see this upward trend in my music. And I was just kind of like shocked, like kind of like how that all happened after having my song in a game. I kind of saw my numbers go up like that. And it was to the point where I had where one of I had to reach out to one of these Scarborough Mirror had reached out to me because I think one of their editors was actually following me on Instagram. So they reached out to me. They're like, "We're trying to write you an article. We really like your story. How you're young, and you also have your song in a soundtrack, especially from Scarborough. And I really think that that looks awesome and on a newspaper in the Mirror." Because it's just proud for Scarborough as well. You know, I'm representing not only myself but a whole community, and I feel like I was just like, of course, I'm down because anything. Having my song in that game kind of opened a lot of doors for me. I met new people, and I just really liked, you know, that feeling of meeting new people and love how they would give me feedback. And yeah, after I got my song in the NBA, they actually released a publication from the Scarborough Mirror and the Toronto Star. So I think one of my principal or my vice principal was actually reading the newspaper and they kind of saw my name in there. And they're like, this is you. And I actually also mentioned my school. So they were like, this is actually so good for our school. So they wanted to promote it to the community, the agent, like the whole my school community and the whole Asian court community. So I was just like, of course you can promote it. You know, just give me my credit. so, so a lot of people were reaching out to me from school. I was kind of getting more popular in school as well. A lot of people started to know me. They even played my music on the PA system once, and parents started to know me as well. It was like the whole school community started to know me, and I was just becoming this popular kid at school. And I feel like as I was getting popular, there were other kids in the school that were making music or just didn't like me because I was brown, or you know, they just thought that I was kind of stealing black culture away, or they really didn't like me doing something that was not my culture. And I totally agree with it. I mean, sure, you I'm not black, but you know, I still like to do what makes me happy at the end of the day. So despite all the love, I did get a lot of hate, and I feel like that hate kind of motivated me and kind of brought like this mindset to my head that you're going to get this in the future. This is not just in school. When you do this, when you do music, there's going to be hate and there's going to be love. No matter what you do, there's going to be at least that one person that hates. And it's a matter of fact that you use good criticism to improve yourself. And I feel like that without that experience, I wouldn't actually be here. And I think I would have quit music, to be honest, because to have that mentality, it's actually hard. You have to build that mentality. And I feel like since I built that mentality from a young age, I'm actually like way stronger or mentally stronger than actually anybody. That's how confident I am. And I feel like when you're mentally strong, you can't get anything get to you without you kind of getting to yourself, if that makes sense.
No, it does. I like it. You're obviously representing Scarborough. You're super young. You're at the very beginning, even though you've had a lot of good happen already to you. Where do you see the future in terms of like who are some people you want to collaborate with? For me, I already think of, you said Scarborough, you said you grew up with Carnatic music and also hip hop. So naturally I think of Mr. Janssen, who already I had on the podcast. So like obviously
Yes.
he similar, similar backgrounds. Obviously
Yep.
he's more behind the scenes, but he obviously does sing and things like that as well. But I'm assuming he'd be somebody you'd collaborate with in the future.
Yan Chan, I have to break it to you. I'm actually already in the works with Yan Chan. I have a song coming out with him.
Nice.
It's called See Me Now. It's actually one of my biggest songs, I feel like. And I just want to give something back to the people, something cultural, something different. And I feel like not many young artists from Scarborough that are Tamil, I feel like I'm representing all of those people. So shout out Yan Chan. He's actually one of my biggest inspirations. When I actually first I was actually watching him. Like he actually inspired me tons. Like I remember watching these Middlingam raps and like they would pop up on my dad's like WhatsApp phone. Like they would be in this group chat and I just saw this Middlingam rap and I was like, damn, that actually sounds kind of cool. Cause like I really liked like rap. So I was just like, what the heck is Middlingam rap? And then I looked into it and I just saw Sean Vincent DePaul and Yan Chan just flowing and he's playing the Middlingam, they're all vibing. And I'm just like, what? That's cool. Like there's a whole new genre of music and I really like that. So I was just like, I gotta get a hold of like Yan Chan, like, like I really like that. So I reached out to him and he, of course, God's I don't know what happened, God's plan or whatever, opened the door and and now I'm here. And like Yan Chan's a big brother to me. Like he'll talk to me. He's honest. That's what I like about Yan Chan. He's honest. He gives his opinions. And, he's always going to be like one of my closest like big brothers. I want to keep him by my side. And I feel like I'm actually grateful to like meet him and talk to him like that, to be honest. But one of my biggest collaborations, like I said, Sean Vincent DePaul, I want to work with him. He's actually also one of my inspirations, like I said, because of the Middlingam raps and all that. Also want to work with like some Tamil artists from like India or Sri Lanka, just have like this different genre of music. I just want to get open to my culture. Like I like Tamil music. I love Tamil music. So I really want to collab with like or like, like Tamil artists like GV Prakash or like, Anirudh, something. I just something like India mainstream. I feel like I want to collab with someone from there because I feel like that would kind of open more of my sound. And I feel like that's kind of the audience I'm also targeting, So
Well,
I feel like that's one of my biggest collabs on the top of my head.
we'll put this out there, Once you put it out there, we'll see what happens.
Of course.
By the time people hear this, we'll see where you're at. Like I said, I keep going back to this. You're right at the beginning. You got this path, like, you're seeing some success in music, but you obviously are still doing school and, maybe have university plans or whatever it is. So do you have this plan of continuing to kind of go down and like finish school while doing music and then, or do you want to kind of just go all in on music? What's the game plan? Money can be hard to come by, but here's $100 opportunity for you. Join my free newsletter for free exclusive content and a free chance to win $100 when I hold special draws. Did I mention that it's free?
Growing up in a Brown family, I feel like dropping out of school is not a good thing. I feel like you need education, and it's gonna make you it's gonna make you money. Education is gonna make you money at the end of the day. No matter what you're studying, I feel like it's gonna make you money. And I feel like without education, you're kind of like let down. I feel like if I only focused on music, let's just say my music flops, or let's just say something goes bad, I don't have a backup plan. And I feel like my job or my education is kind of my backup plan. So I'm kind of actually going in both directions. I'm actually also doing music, and I'm also doing school. And I'm not doing bad at school. I'm actually like doing really well at school. And on my free time, I would just work on music. And like I said, I'm trying to do something biotech in university, or I'm trying to do life sci or health sci, something in the medical field, but not too like overwhelming. I feel like more easy, or more calm, so I can also focus on my music. I always want to balance out both of those things, because I feel like both of them are my priority at the moment and will always be my priority, because I don't think I'm gonna stop music for a while.
And obviously you kind of grew up in the generation where like I think all you've known is social media, I think for the most part.
Yeah.
So you're probably more well versed than like say somebody like my age around like leveraging social media. But how do you use social media in the music game, or just yourself specifically, to kind of promote yourself or just create opportunities for yourself?
Social media. So I actually opened social media like in grade 9. Like I said, like I just wanted to motivate people. That was actually my first niche. I wanted to motivate people. I wanted to get people to think like me. Like I'm not trying to like change people's mindsets, but I just wanted to make people feel strong, or like make people not give up, or just make people happy. That's what my main goal was. And as music came on, I kind of switched my focus to music, and as well as motivating people. I still motivate people on the daily, and I still want to inspire people on the daily. I hope, because like it's a crazy feeling when someone reaches out to you and be like, bro, you're actually an inspiration to me. I'm trying to be like you. I feel like when you hear that, it just feels nice. Like it feels like it feels nice, because like you just get this happiness in your like in your heart, that someone is reaching out to you and they spent time to message you and stuff. So I really love that. But social media, I've been using it to promote my music, build a fan base, because making music is easy, but making people to listen to your music is a really hard part, and I feel like that's where most artists struggle. And there's so many artists in the world. There's like millions of artists in the world. There's millions of songs that are dropped on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. So I feel like building a strong fan base would actually get you far, because those are going to be your fans till you die, you know? So I always been using social media to promote my music, to motivate people. I also follow on social media. I follow like motivation pages and like other creators like Yanchan, or other creators like Russ. Like I would just see like what they're doing, what content they're making, and I would get this inspiration from them and kind of use it in my way. What would I make, or what should I make? Kind of have that feeling. And those motivation pages help me tons, because when I wake up, the first thing I do is I go look at a quote, or I go look at today's daily affirmation. I'm the type of person. I just love spiritual energy. Like I just love that stuff. So without reading that stuff, my day cannot be going. So I feel like I have to read something that kind of, it makes me happy, gets my day going, type of thing. And then I also have, like I said, marketing creators that I follow, like how to market my music, just more insider strategies that I can use in the music industry. And I also follow producers. I connect with producers on a daily basis. I connect with other artists from around the world. So that's one of the biggest advantages is social media. I feel like without social media, it's so easier now with social media. You can target your audience from anywhere in the world. Yeah, I can be targeting people in India sitting in my chair on my phone from like Canada in my house, you know? So that's what's so cool about social media.
Cool. In terms of like someone in the global Tamil community that you admire, who would that be, and like why would you, and why do you admire them?
In the Tamil community, are you talking like worldwide?
Anywhere, yeah.
Worldwide. Okay. One of these biggest inspirations I've had worldwide would actually be like Sid Sriram. He's like, he brings me these weekend vibes. Like, I don't know. Like, I've been actually following him, like when he dropped like his first Tamil song. Like, I would go to his YouTube channel and I've seen him actually like sing weekend songs and covers. And like, he just has that, like, he has a nice voice. Like,
He has a great voice.
I'm
Yeah,
jealous. I'm jealous of his voice. I wish I had that. But
yeah.
like, I just love his voice. And like, I also want to work with him too. Like, he looks like a chill dude. Looks like this chill homie vibe, you know? And I feel like he's just been an inspiration to me because like I just saw his success kind of go up like that. Like after he dropped that one song, he kind of got so much love from everyone around the world. And then he dropped a song after song. And then now look where he is now. Like no one would have knew who Sid Sriram was like 4 years ago. But you know that's insane. Like I just love his elevation in his music and I'm jealous of his voice. What can I say? And like his lyrics are insane too, but I just really like his voice. And I kind of learn his songs because it kind of goes good with my voice compared to any other Tamil artist out there. I feel like Sid Sriram's voice or his music is really easy for me to recreate compared to like other artists.
I usually ask this to people that are much older than you when I usually ask them, hey, like, how would you, if you had to go to time machine and go back and visit your 16-year-old self, but since that was like last year,
Mhm.
what if you had to go back to 12-year-old Vinnin? You go back in a time machine 5 years ago, you had a chance to sit down with him. What would you tell him?
Okay, 12-year old. Okay, I would say focus in school. You play too many games. Because I used to play so much games back then. I would waste my time. Literally, I would waste my time. Like I didn't even know what time was back then. Like I just saw time fly, and I would just waste my time like that. That's all I remember like when I was 12. And I would watch so much TV channels. Oh God, like YTV. That was the thing back then. YTV. But yeah, I would say if I had the chance, I would invest into Bitcoin if I actually really had the chance back then, because I would really been making a kind of good money right now. But yeah, like I said, like I wish I had also wish I actually made a song back then in when I was 12, because that's actually when Soldier Boy made his first song. So I feel like if I actually like was like an internet star back then and put myself on YouTube, that I could have actually got some like clout or like kind of been like known in the industry. I feel like
You're still 17, man. You got time. So
yeah, I
start
got
putting
bare
out
time.
that. Now looking forward, in terms of your personal legacy, how would you want to be remembered by your friends and family?
I actually want to be remembered as somebody that impacted music like globally. Like I feel like I want to be known as someone like that kind of never gave up. I feel like when people look at me, they're gonna be like who is Vinnin, man? Do you know that guy? Like they're gonna be like, yo, I know that guy. He's from my school. Like he never gave up despite all that hate that he got. Like people that witnessed everything by my side, like the hate, the love, they will know that like I had to fight through all those struggles. So I feel like not giving up. And I also want to be remembered as like, one of the greatest artists coming from Toronto, especially being young right now. And I want to also inspire many kids around the world, not only Tamil, not only brown culture. Like I'm saying, any child in the world. I just want to inspire them to, they can actually do anything in this world, and you only live once. So I feel like you should use your life to your fullest potential and do what makes you happy at the end of the day. Because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to hate on you. They're going to be your family, but whatever that makes you happy at the end of the day, do what makes you happy. Because happiness is literally like this life that we have is actually like a gift. Like I feel like a lot of people are not grateful for like the life that they are living right now. And I feel like a lot of people waste their time. Even like all my coaches, all my cousins, they tell me, bro, I wasted my time when I was your age. And they always tell me that. So I feel like using your time to your advantage is like a big thing. And I just want to be like, I just want to be a role model. That's all I want to be. I just want to positively impact people. I hope I changed many people's lives. Like I cured their depression, or I made them stronger. Their willpower was stronger. Like I just want to make people mentally stronger with my music and just through what I'm saying, like inspiration quotes.
Love it. That's a good segue into the final segment of the podcast. So it's a game that I like to call Creator Confessions. I'm going to say a bunch of statements, or you're going to give me a quick answer to them. It's like a speed round. Ready?
Okay, cool.
Favorite Tamil food?
Favorite Tamil food, kodroti.
Something that scares you?
Spiders.
Insecurity that you have?
Insecurity that I have, being brown.
Favorite show you're watching?
Favorite show that I'm watching right now, I actually don't even watch shows. Big Boss. Okay, actually Big Boss.
Place your, or how about this one? A fellow Tamil creator you want to give a shout out to?
Can I give a shout out to actually like 2
Sure.
or 3? Okay, shout out to R. Seren. He's actually one of like a nice artist from Toronto as well. He makes Tamil music. Shout out Stay Swaying. He's like one of my blood brothers. Like I keep him like my blood brother, but like, we make music together. We have a lot of music coming up as well. And shout out he's not Tamil, but he's Malayalam. So shout out Rayon and Melvin. Those are like my brothers from Ireland. So I love those guys as well.
Awesome. Favorite movie of all time?
Karanan.
A pet peeve of yours?
Okay, so something my pet peeve will probably be people talking behind people's back, or like being negatively or just negatively demotivating people, like putting down people. I don't like that.
A celebrity you look up to?
Celebrity I look up to, Nav. I love Nav.
Age you want to retire by?
I'm trying to retire by my 30s. I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to retire like 31 or like 35.
A celebrity whose life you want to experience for one day?
I really want to experience like the Weeknd. I really want to experience his life in a day. Like I'm just like the amount of connections he has. Like it will be dope. Like just to go through his daily like routine, like him in the studio singing songs. I love his voice as well. Like he's one of my inspirations as well.
Maybe like a book or podcast, a book you've read or a podcast you've listened to that's had an impact on you.
Favorite book all time, The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. It's one of my favorite books. It talks about the law of attraction. It kind of impacted my whole life, to be honest with you. It impacted the way I think about life, the different aspects of life. It has great meaning to it. If you're someone that likes to read books, or someone that spiritually want to improve on yourself, kind of, if you want to improve on yourself as a person, I feel like you should read that book, because it changed my like entire aspect of life. Like I'm a whole new person, and I love it. Like that book has impacted me, and I'm gonna keep it by my side.
A belief, behavior, or habit that's improved your life?
I feel like a behavior habit that I've had from a young age is just talking to people. I was that person that wouldn't stop talking. I would go up to anybody. I don't care if it was a girl. I don't care if they look really nice, or like, like I couldn't talk to them because they were so like beautiful, or like, I was just that person that was so confident. I would go up to anybody and I'd be like, what's up? Like I really like that feeling, because like, I mean, I really like that habit because it really helps me in the music industry as well. I'm just really confident. I have my own swag, like nothing's bothering me, and I feel like that's a good skill to have also in the future when you're looking for a wife, or or like talking to friends, socializing with people. I feel like that's a really, really good habit to have.
And finally, what's a piece of advice that you'd give to your other, your fellow aspiring Tamil creators out there?
Don't stop doing what makes you happy. despite what people say. Because I know there's going to be people that say this is not the right path for you. You're doing something wrong, but they're not living your life. They're living their life. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. And I feel like people regret it when they're older. They'll be like, oh, I wish I actually really did that in a young age. So I feel like if you don't want to live life with regrets, just do what just do it in the moment. You have to live the moment. So do whatever makes you happy. And if it doesn't go well, move on to the next one. What can possibly happen? And I feel like without God's purpose, it's not gonna happen. I feel like everything is, how we're talking on this podcast right now. I feel like it would have not happened without a purpose. And I really love that.
Vinnin, that was a great episode. I think, like I said, you're like probably my youngest guest I've had so far. You're definitely wise behind your age. So, someone listening to this, if they're inspired by your story and they want to reach out, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Yeah, so it's Vinnin on all platforms, Vinnin. So that's my Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, whatever you search on, it's Vinnin. And all my social media platforms are actually Vinnin Winning. So I kept it Vinnin Winning just to motivate myself and also to motivate others, as I also do music and also motivate people on a daily basis.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Vinnin, for jumping on the podcast, and for everyone that listens. Thank you guys, and look forward to the next episode.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for your time.